All right. All right, let's do it. Okay, so D&D Races. That's what we got for today. We're gonna have to select, let's say maybe 5 to 10. All right, which means we gotta pull up the list. All right, so until we get more people, we can work on map building for now. But at the same time, I kind of want to get the selection. Let's do the selection. All right. Let's choose our 5 to 10. I think the first one classically has to be the Dragonborn. Put a little dash there, and then we'll move on. for our next one, we're going to do these in sections, because if we do it all at once, it's going to be way too long. So let's think about it. We have to do dwarves. Oh, whoops. Yeah, okay. The thing is, elf has a lot of sub-races. Do we distinguish between that? Like, standard elf? And then if we have the other elves, we could talk about those specifically. Or do we just encompass all of them? Let's see how many there are. Oh boy, that's a lot. Alright, then if we think about it, that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 sub-races for elf. Okay, but these ones I know for sure are their own races. The Eladrin and the Shatterkai. So let's just put standard elf, and that could be like dark elves, wood elves, high elves. I think like drows and Shatterkai kind of have their own identity for the most part, or whatever else it was. All right, we need to choose more. We're doing 5 to 10. We have 3 chosen so far. You guys have ideas? Let's hear them. What races do we want to talk about and talk about their stereotype? No, sorry. I have a good one for ASMR. We'll do ASMR. I think we can do changelings. Do we do bugbears? Mithril, welcome. Good morning from the UK. Here to drop. Oh, hold up. I have the chat. I gotta move it just a little bit. Good morning from the UK. Here to drop a like, listen for a bit, then disappear. Well, I appreciate you being here. I do like the name Mithril. Glad to have you here. I think the stream, by the way, has a 30-second delay. I will fix that as of tomorrow, but just keep that in mind. But welcome. Happy to have you. All right. We are choosing races to talk about. And this is going to be for a future video on what your favorite race pretty much says about you. So we're going to do 5 to 10 choices because there's, I think, like over 60 races or something. And we're going to talk about them in segments. So this is essentially segment 1. We have 5 so far. We do 5 more. I think 10 races is pretty good. Let's think here. I kind of want to go for ones that we have good things to say about. Or not good things, but things to say about. Goliath is definitely one of them. It's a very popular choice. On that subject, we could also do Goblin. Let's put these up here. Tabaxis, I do have a good one for. So let's make a new tab over here. Tabaxis. Let's choose another one. These are really new races. It's kind of hard to say the things about them just yet, so we'll do them later. As much as I love to talk about plasmoids, I will have to avoid it. Lineage is cool. Leonins, I really like. Man, this makes me kind of want to do a tier list too, but we're doing stereotypes. Okay, I think we go back and we choose some of the iconic ones. Random guy, welcome back. Happy to have you here. Okay, we have to do gnomes. I think we gotta get the iconic ones. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We could do one more. I am open to doing more. Be right back. Grandson just woke up. Grandsons, no worries. Take care of them. All right. I guess we could do human as the last one. We have more ideas as we go along, and we could definitely do it. But it's time to talk about them. Alright, so right now we are going to be a little racist in the context of D&D, because that's what we're talking about. We need to talk about the stereotypes of these races. So, I pretty much made a video that said like what your favorite class says about you. This is what your favorite race says about you. That is what we are going to solve. So the first one is Dragonborn. Alright, what are some things we have to say about Dragonborns? First of all, they are the classic D&D race. Like it's in the name, Dungeons and Dragons. From my experience, their breath weapon has always been underwhelming until they recently improved it. But they do love to breathe fire, or breathe, love to use breath weapon. And from my experience, they are also usually the loudest players. If you guys got anything to add to Dragonborns, let me know. But from my experience, these are the three things. Alright, let's jump to dwarf. Dwarves. We know they have to have a Scottish accent, right? Every dwarf does. So, They're pretty much guaranteed to have a Scottish accent. They always love alcohol. Oh, shit. Love drinking. And they do love a magnificent beard. But I think we could just turn them, instead of love drinking, to real life alcoholics. And instead of this, I wish you can grow beard like a dwarf. This is a bit bashful, guys. We are bashing them a bit. We're not holding back. Alright. The elves. Oh boy, the elves. Okay, most fantasy interpretations I see of elves always have them be racist. I don't know if you guys have had that experience. Guess we could just say hate humans. And people that play them. I don't think there's anything that infuriates them more than seeing someone play a human. They will always go to war with them. Always reminding that they can't be charmed or put to sleep. They will never shut up about it. They will tell you every single time. Nothing could be happening, and you're like, "Hey, you guys are gonna take a long rest," and they're like, "Hey, DM, just to let you know, DM, just to clarify, I can't be put to sleep. Actually, I don't sleep. I meditate for 4 hours, so don't think I should go to bed at all." So they're kind of a DM's nightmare. And they meditate constantly. Oh, let's there we go. All right. Oops. Hold up, I just gotta click on something. One moment. All right, we're good. We're back. I don't know if I have anything else about elves. They're always usually a ranger or a mage. Like, no, I guess I have seen some rogues too. They're not really class specific. If you guys have something for elves, we could put it in there. We need a third one. All right, ASMRs. I'm gonna take a second and increase the font of these, or the size. Let's do 22, just so. I think we can also kind of change the color. All right. So let's increase the size. We did. All right, perfect. Let's talk about ASMRs. Let's go back to this. Fixed it. Okay. What about Asimars do we want to talk about? Whoops. Main character syndrome, pretty much. Because they like to be the special snowflakes. What else? Well, they do hate... They hate that they can only fly for 1 minute. That pisses them off. Yeah, we'll keep it to that for now. I'm happy to hear some ideas from you guys. Alright, changelings. Changelings is kind of like the DM character. They like to do a lot of voices. Right, because you could shapeshift into like literally anyone, so you could do a new voice. So the DM is very, very much used to doing a multitude of characters. So overall, they're probably your theater kid. Alright, Goliaths. Oh, I'll fix this. By the way, how does this stream sound? Because for the past couple days, I've been having issues. So is everything running pretty well? Anyone else remember Sawriles? The FR's original Dragonborn till Wizards of the Coast came along. I loved playing them. I have never seen that. Let me look it up. That definitely does sound old school. Oh. Oh, these look cool. Stream sounds good? Okay, perfect. Glad. Oh, these guys are like a dinosaur race. I like this a lot. They have a page for them. Let's see. Is it pronounced Sawriles? I think it is. Sawriles. They were a rare breed of scaly kind, specifically a sauroid race, not native to Toril. Several subraces existed, though only 4 were found on Toril itself, dwelling in the Lost Vale, also known as Tarkaldale? Tarkaldale? You gotta love old fantasy names. They actually put in work for it. They lived on the Malatron Plateau in the southern Karatur, and the Valley of Spirits before that. Yeah, so these look like they were the OG Dragonborns. This is really cool. I like these a lot. Damn. Is that what they are, though, right now? Sorrel's wannabe? Maybe. Alright. Goliaths. Oh, Goliaths. The people that like to be big and strong. So, I've noticed that this is usually paired with a martial class. For obvious reasons. You're big. You're a giant, like, 8-foot dude. However, after Grog, people have played Goliaths like there was no tomorrow. So, they are indeed Grog lovers, and that is both the drink Grog and the person who played him. So, we're definitely going to put that there. Well, okay, I've noticed at least some of the Goliaths I play can have like a height insecurity. It's possible. I don't know if you guys have had the same experience, but they hate the idea of anyone being taller than them. They have to be the tallest person. So we'll keep that in there for now. Alright. Goblins. Alright. Goblins are the super essentially the gross race of D&D is as people call them. I'm not saying that's the case, I'm just saying that's what they're referred to as. However, I'm kind of on Team Goblin Slayer, so yeah, screw the goblins. Where are they? They're somewhere here. Why am I missing them? Oh, there they are. Alright. Goblins, I know, love Fury of the Small, which is like their racial trait. It's super good. Did they change Fear of the Small with the new one? Oh. Ooh. Is this better or worse? It's equal to your proficiency bonus. You can use it a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. I mean, you get to use it more, that's for sure, but it does less damage. I don't know. Do any of you play goblins? How do you guys feel about this? Let's see what people say. Instead of doing a maximum of 20 damage, it's a maximum of 36. So endgame, it's stronger. Old one was once per short rest. Yeah, I think I kind of agree with this guy right here. That even if it is better, it just feels pretty sad. I may be one of the Mithril says I may be one of the few people left on this planet who still loves 2nd edition. That is, yeah, that is real old school. I've started D&D at 5th edition. I've only ever played 5th edition. But I know that, like, 2nd edition is, like, classic D&D. That sounds so cool. Yeah, I think Fear the Small kind of sucks now. Or it doesn't suck, it just doesn't feel as good. There was something about doing your level as damage that felt kind of nice when you wanted it to. But, yeah, they get a high when using Fury of the Small. Love to be gross. It appealed to my book collecting fetish. I'm sure there was a lot of books. That sounds crazy. Alright, we're gonna need one more for goblins, whatever stereotypes you guys have. We're gonna move on to tabaxis. Alright. Okay, there's the very obvious reason people play tabaxis. Whoops, I need to... There we go. And that is furries, as people say it. Is furries not a thing on Spellcheck? Oh, it is now. The other one is Zoomers. And I don't mean Zoomers like generation. I mean they like to be fast. Because tabaxis have a very special trait. Alright. Let's go find them. Here they are. Okay. This one right here. Feline agility. So, what this does is, as you can see, once on your turn in combat, you can double your movement speed until the end of your turn. And then it says once you use this, you're stuck at 0 feet for one turn. That doesn't really matter too much. The point is that while most people are traveling at normal pace, you are literally Sonic. You are Speedy Gonzalez, just traveling around. Especially a Tabaxi Monk. If you pair Tabaxi with Monk, you can use like Step of the Wind. Where is it? First of all, you're getting buffs to your move speed for being a monk, so that's already a big bonus. And then... Where is Step of the Wind? Is it under the key effects? Did I miss it? There it is. Okay, so you can dash as a bonus action. Jump speed is doubled. That's crazy. Okay, so theoretically, if you were a Tabaxi monk, okay, you're going to move as your action, which, first of all, we need to decide, theoretically, what level this person is. Huh. I was about to sneeze, but then went away. Now I'm a little sad. Okay. Starting second level, your speed increases by 10 feet. Okay, so we can look at a table. Unarmored movement, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. Wow, that is wild. Oh no, it's plus 10 goes up to plus 15. Okay. Just making sure. That would have been crazy. So theoretically, let's just take 15, because that's it for a while. So from 30 to 15, you're at 45 move speed. So you're running 45 move speed as part of your turn, right, for your action. For your bonus action, you're dashing, which is doubled. So that's going to be 90. All right, can you dash and bonus action dash? I don't think so. Can you double dash? Because dash just affects your... Oh, wow, you can. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so in that case, it's a 90 and 90. And then you have your normal movement speed, which is 45. And then on top of that, with the tabaxi, you get it all over again. So you double all that. So you get 90 and 90 is 180. And then plus, that's 225. Am I crazy? 180 plus 45. Yeah, 225 plus another 225. So then you're running at 450 movement speed in one turn. That's not even counting any other bonuses, and perhaps I missed something that you can also do. But yeah, tabaxis can literally blink with how fast these guys go. Say it's like, oh, the next turn you have to stand still, but it doesn't matter. You went 450 feet. I believe that's correct. I could be wrong. But yeah, they are zoomers. They love to go fast. All right. The gnomes. What do we got about the small race? Oh. One moment. All right, there we go. I lost my chat for a second, but now it's back. All right, gnomes. I mean, they're kind of like... okay, at least in WoW, people say gnomes are the smelly race. I don't know if that pertains to D&D, but they definitely do like to be the comic relief. Every gnome is essentially a meme character. Used as an improvised weapon by barbarians. That's actually, yeah. Most likely to get thrown. That's a good one. I like that one.
We started our company, Girls Do Interiors, before we even graduated.
We're not playing ads here unless I get paid. You're not getting your free sponsorships. Get out of here with that. Alright, the music's back. Alright, most likely to get thrown. I like that a lot. They always have a squeaky voice too, right? Because dwarves have Scottish accents. How do you spell squeaky? Squeaky? I guess that's it. Alright, squeaky voice. Oh, there we go. We found out. We learned something today, guys. Nah. I do hate this auto set, but whatever. Alright, humans. Class clowns. You know, that's a good one. So instead of meme character, let's put class clown. That is really good. I actually really like that. Forgot to increase the fonts for these. However, for gnome, I think it's appropriate to actually decrease it. There you go. Alright, humans. Everyone says that humans are the vanilla and the boring race to play. I heavily disagree with this. This is a Chad pick. This is an awesome pick. If you put a world where you can be a giant 8-foot creature, you can literally be a dragonborn, a changeling, a genasi, a air kraken, and you still choose human? Oh my god. You're fighting for the cause. But this is also the most adaptable race. Not like... I get that that's what they always say, like, oh, humans are the most adaptable races. I mean, like, narratively. Most, narratively. I'm gonna assume that was incorrect. Most narratively adaptable. I have noticed that anyone who's played a human has always been able to connect in the story. It's like they're not boxed in, I think, so overall they feel very comfortable jumping anywhere. However, if there's any race that is going to have dead parents, it is a human. I have not had one human character in my entire experience not have dead parents. They are the first ones to do it. Yeah. I think we got them all. Fern, welcome back. I'm happy to see you here. We finally got the stream working again, so we are good. The only thing is a bit of a, I think approximately like a 30-second delay. So that's the only thing that kind of sucks. Humans allow for blank sheet players. Yeah, I do agree. Absolutely. It could go very bad though in that sense, right? Like an experienced player could grab that blank sheet and do really, really good things with it because they have no expectations, they have no obligations, but someone who doesn't really know what they're doing can kind of just stay bland. So consequence of that is you could be vanilla, but possibly vanilla. It's like the best way to say it is all vanilla players are humans, but not all humans are vanilla players. Okay, I think for the most part, we got a lot of the stereotypes of like the race and to an extent of the players. We need some more focus on like one trait for some of the ones we're missing about the players themselves. But I guess we got a good addition. Yeah, this kind of works out overall. All right. In that case, I think we've done the races. We could probably move on to the map making now. / world building. All right. In that case, do not worry. Expect a video about this soon enough with all of these taken into consideration. And now we will close this. We will also close this and give me a moment to get the map out. All right. It's time to do some updates to the map. All right. Couple things to consider as we do some things. We are going to need some names for these cities, for at least this town. And then also this kingdom, and also we made another kingdom over here very quickly, but we have not quite finished this. So we will jump back to the kingdoms later. Always struggled with the world making. I think that's why I jumped so deep into the realms. That is perfectly fine. Like, there's no obligation as a DM to have to make your own world, because it's so much work. If you do, though, it's incredibly rewarding, and there's definitely a lot of trial and error with it. I don't know why we had that random mountain there, but yeah, I think you could also provide an extremely unique experience by getting really good at running the Forgotten Realms. Because, like, at least for me, I have homebrewed every single one of my campaigns, so, like, I know a very good portion about the Forgotten Realms, but if I had to DM it, it would take me a lot of time to research it and get everything together. So I'd definitely be lost. But if there's a DM who is like, hey, I go really hard at the Forgotten Realms, like, I know everything about it, then that could be super awesome. All right. Give me 1 second. I just gotta grab something from the back of my room. All right, we're coming back. Okay, I kind of want to fix this northern area. Oh, that was not good. There, we're good now. Okay, so this, like, has the potential to look good, but until we fix it, it looks a little bad. We gotta put some stuff in it. First thing we add are some trees. We have to load up all of our assets. Give it a second. Okay. I don't like these assets. They look like cotton. There's the pretty realistic snow trees they have. Yep, right here. I am a big fan of these ones. I have weirdly high standards. If my ideas aren't perfect, I bin them. Then the end result being that I usually end up with nothing. Trust me, I know how you feel. The best thing that I found is consulting another DM about your ideas. And because they're not part of the campaign, they have a pretty unbiased viewpoint, so they can just tell you what they feel like from their perspective. We kind of want to change the coloration of this a bit. Yeah, that's better. But are they too big of a trees now? We just need to make this bigger. I suppose this doesn't quite really get bigger. Alright. I changed my mind. Actually, the trees do need to be dark because the snow is already so bright. Okay. These out one. Grab these out and put them higher, and then bring them here, and boom. What software are you using? This looks pretty titty. This is Incarnate. If I am to type it right here. They have a free version you can use that kind of gives you some of the assets, but it's $5 a month. And then you can essentially build kind of all the maps that you like. You can also see what other people have made. So if you go to like the Explore tab, people have made all kinds of maps. And it's easy as like, if you see something you like, you can like it over here. And then when you are where you're at, you can just click on your liked and see all the ones you liked. And you could be able to use them. Yeah. Thank you, Kaichu, for letting them know. Also, welcome. It's very, very nice. Okay. We wanted to do this, like, sulfur lake up here. And then the sort of ice volcanoes was like the idea we wanted. What we need to do though is populate this area with some actual structures. Okay, I did see those buildings over there. Oh, was I placing them? Are these different trees? No, they're the same. Don't we already? Yeah. Okay, I'm kind of more of a fan of making this area more like a wilderness than an actual habited area. How's the map going? It is going pretty well, actually. Now that we're back, we have built a couple new areas. So we kind of filled Bloodstone or Bloodbear Lake. Kind of how I thought of the story so far. So it's essentially going to kind of be this quarry node that they're farming up instead of like a lake vacation area. And then we started kind of putting a kingdom together. We will come back to it during this session, but not quite yet. The only thing I want to do is kind of get this out of the way so I can kind of be done with the north side. That being said, though, I don't want to put another town just because all of these areas. I think I'm more of a fan of actually making this like a frozen wilderness. And then there's the civilizations you meet are in the mountains and in the forest. So they're not going to be shown on the map, but the players will definitely find them somewhere. So it's kind of almost like an untamed wilderness. now we're gonna put the ones that are lightly above. I'll probably just get rid of this. I want to put frozen lakes is the next thing. I doubt this thing has like an asset for lakes. Yeah. Okay. So we got to go to the brush and do this the old-fashioned way. Ooh, ice sheet. Do these look super nice? We are going to have to decrease the size. No, maybe it doesn't work. Okay, we'll go back to our original idea. I think the hue will give it a bit of a darker blue. Size we're gonna kind of decrease. Okay. I can go ahead and move these trees. What if we put like ruins here, guys? Like ancient ruins. What we could totally do is place ruins and statues. There are some frozen ones I think I remember using. Let's see. Let's type in ruins. I could grab these. I could place some ruins on the frozen lake. There could very well be a temple there. I'll put some trees to kind of illustrate that it's not water. It is actually frozen ground. Okay. That'd be sick. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. If you like it, then we're going through with it. Look for any kind of towers that are broken down, maybe. Jungle tower. What if I take away the saturation on it and it just becomes... Yep, here we go. What if we place it right here on the sulfur lake? That could be kind of cool. And then the last thing I want to do is statue. Ah, YouTube ad. There we go. Okay, these are kind of more desert themed. These ones are kind of cool, but they're top down, so it's not gonna mix with the art style that we've made this map. Oh, these dragon heads are super cool. But again, top down. Oh, okay. Hold up, we can do something really cool with this. Okay, where do we want to place the hand? Oh, okay. All right. What if we take away this tower and we put the hand on the sulfur lake? Change the color. We want to put some... Well, actually, I know it'll have snow on it, but the sulfur could be... Oh, OBS says they're disconnected. I'm going to assume we're good. I'm not going to click on these. Okay. Other things say we're good, but we'll see. So, I think we're good. I don't think we crashed. We're still live. Text Pendable. Hey, never seen your channel before, but the algorithm recommended me your stream. Looks good so far. I'm glad you like it, and I'm glad it recommended it. Come on and join us. We are making maps. Oh, I just realized something. I have not been sharing this side of the screen, which is very important. So I've kind of been trolling you guys for a bit. I apologize. Super important because you can see all the different stuff I'm doing here. All right. But welcome, Tex Pendable. Welcome. Where were we? We placed a giant hand. We want to place statues around here. I ideally want to find statues that are kind of broken down and decrepit instead of intact. That sucks. Again, winter statues that could work really well, just not going to work with a top-down view. That's where the map starts to be a little inconsistent. Okay, I actually kind of like these dwarf statues. We could probably place these. So let's place. How does it look if I place it on these? That could look kind of nice. All right. Maybe over here. Or. Okay, we might shrink the mountain. Is it too big? Let's shrink this one. We'll keep the central. We're going to shrink this a little so we can open up more area. And then this, we're going to increase its size. The only issue is this dwarf doesn't really contrast too much. Okay, let's shrink the tower and put statues around it, maybe. So if I grab this guy, place another one, but I flip him. There we go. Wasn't there another dwarf? Well, same thing. I think if I flip this guy, yeah. About ready to get some sleep, but I'll tune in next time. By the way, the stream is in fact not dead. I'm glad to hear that. Go ahead and have yourself a good night's rest. Take care of yourself. Welcome and hope to see you next time. Okay. Okay, so the only issue is we can't really have them all facing. So, okay. I have an idea here. These statues kind of have a multitude of races. So let's put that in the mixture. Okay. We have elf pretty much. We have dwarf. Let's do human right here on his valiant steed. And then we could definitely have this be some kind of ruin with a culmination of these races who kind of came together. Let's put back to saturation. Do we change the color? What if they're frozen statues? So they're kind of made of ice. Can I not make this as frozen, probably? That's okay. This I'll kind of do, maybe. Let's see. If we can't get this one to freeze. Yeah, we can't get that one to freeze. Okay. And then one more statue. I mean, there is a wizard here. Maybe that'll be the move. We could instead say, if we don't want it to be the races, oh, we can definitely have it be a party. Or an order, whichever one. Does this knight look better than the cavalry? Kind of does, yeah. Can we make this frozen? Yep. Create, decrease the contrast. There we go. Okay. Grandson has gone back to sleep and I need my breakfast. You've earned it. The grandson is asleep. You can enjoy that breakfast with victory. Okay. The next thing that I remember using on one of my other maps is there's a big sword. There we go. Ooh, and there's even an ice one. Alright, we're gonna strike this sword somewhere on the map. Question is, do we want it on the mounted? Do we want it maybe on the hand? Do we want it in the forest? It could be very, very big. We can put it like... essentially right here. We'd have to change style a bit. Here, let me go to the mountain and actually put it at 4. Go back to the sword. I could place it on the volcano itself, and that could be why it's shooting out the ice instead of lava. But I kind of like the idea of it being pretty big. Like, what if we make it bigger than what the map shows? No, that won't work. Should I flip it for a better angle? Yeah, I mean, I could honestly twist this. I don't know if I like it sideways. I do like it kind of up and down. Okay, we're going to place it across like this, which means we're going to go to these trees and remove them. We're going to open up this area. But I definitely want to put a dip in the earth. Some forests that are 5. You place them around here. Oh, oh. Place them around here. We're just going to have to be a little surgical here, since we decided to do this after we put an entire forest. Okay, we've opened it up. We want to put like a ditch. I could probably do that with a cliff, maybe. No. I think we could do like a moat. Nope, that doesn't work. Hole. No. Great. I know there's craters for sure. So what if we do that? I don't like this either. It shouldn't be a crater. It needs to be like a slice. Go back to Cliff. Okay, what if I grab this, which is a little veiny? Change the color to blue. Increase the saturation. Come over here. Oh, there we go. Okay. What I'm trying to do is have these, like, almost frost scars that stem from the source of impact. So they need to be very thin. There we go. Increase the brightness. Yeah. Let's do that. So let's right click this. There we go. Keith, welcome. Welcome back. Happy to see you here. All right. Let's increase the size of this. Is there anything else we can do with this? None of these filters ever look good. We don't want to blur it. It is cool for it to cast a shadow. Oh, we could change the color of the light. That's kind of cool. It could be used for other things, but increase the contrast. Lower the brightness on it, actually. Put saturation just a little bit, and then boom. I think we have what we're looking for there. All right. I think we're pretty much finishing with this northern side. We have points of interest kind of for the most part everywhere. The only thing is to put a couple of frozen lakes. So what if we have this entire area before you get to the sulfur be smoke or frozen? But that means with the mixture of the sulfur, there's a lot of steam that goes through. That's a little hard to illustrate that. Might just be something you say in character or in game, I mean. Are there any other massive weapons we can actually put? There's the broken sword from Flame Ones. Wait a minute. What if I grab this? Right? And then I change it. Can it? Oh. Okay, we're at a bit of a pickle here now. Yeah. Excuse me. I wonder what material the sword is made out of. Well, it might, of course, be unbreakable. Imagine how cool it would be to have it be a central part of the surrounding Frost Giant and Orc tribe's lifestyle, in which they make pilgrimages to it and they need metal as they slowly carve chunks out of it to create axes and shields, which normally wouldn't be able to create. That is such a solid idea. Such a great idea we could use. So, we also have two options with the sword. We could do this one. Or we could do this one. I would have to remove these trees. Which sword do you guys like more? Essentially, one is kind of more of a frozen sword. The other has kind of a breathing element to it. Unless, actually, wait. I don't know if I want this straight up. Could I tilt it? Yeah, I could. I absolutely can. So I could tilt this sword and put it like right there. Let's put that a little slightly. The second sword? All right, we'll do that then. Get rid of this. Keep the second sword. We can have it be angled or we can have it be straight down. Straight down, we're going to have to make it a little smaller to fit. Welcome back, Mithril. We found a different sword model, so we're using this because it has like some flame effect to it. Question is, do we want it plunged straight down or kind of plunge a bit tilted? Kind of like this. I can't, so, I mean, there is such a thing as like environmental storytelling, right? If it's to the side, it could definitely be kind of a fallen titan or a fallen giant, but if it's straight down, it's deliberately plunged in by something. So it's more of like, do we want it that this sword was thrust into here with an intended purpose, or whoever its carrier was died and the sword dropped? Actually, what? This is a little off topic, but let me know what you guys think about that. But what is the different color schemes we can have with this? Ooh, okay. I have a lot of ideas here now for a second. Okay. Just real quick, let me know what you guys think. Side or thrust it to the side or straight down. I will move on to the next thing for now, but for now I'll just keep it to the side. The only thing I want to do is actually, oh no, actually it's fine. Yeah, let's move the mountain. Let's move these trees out of the way. Nope. Oh, and I had played, but I didn't have music playing this whole time. I am so sorry, guys. Do you create the map, then create the lore afterwards, or vice versa? I mean, it's essentially the process of both at the same time. However, the formula for me is to build the map first, then the lore. But a lot of times as you're building the map, you start to have ideas for the lore, and it starts to reflect it. So, like, for example, right now, we decided to put this giant sword in, and what I wanted to do next was actually put different swords of different colors around the world. And then we have some lore establishment of what these swords are, what happens, like what benefit could you get by traveling to all of them, right? Perhaps you attune to one of the swords and you can get special powers based on that element. Maybe some of them corrupt you, but I like the idea of some people maybe seeing it as a religious sign, kind of a divine act. So I can even kind of make some of them big and even drop the access. 70% focus on the map, 30% on the lore at the same time. Essentially, yes, yes, yes. And there's a lot of times where, like, I will finalize the map and I'll start making my lore and then realize I want to do something, so then I'll have to go back and edit some things and change an entire city sometimes. It's why you, like, always give yourself a lot of time to do it comfortably, so you don't feel rushed to have to get something done. And then you make sure that you're just doing it out of passion and ideas rather than sort of, hey, I have a deadline. There was green. Alright. Maybe you can make the swords each have different models. I wish I could put the flame effect on all of them. It's specifically this one that has the flame effect. We could do different weapons in general, right? Like, theoretically, how would it look if I put a massive axe in? It's a little less 3D than what these ones are. I mean, one weapon that works for sure is the other one that's intended to go on the map, which is this one can be one. Will a katana look good? If I place it like, I theoretically took this out and placed, oops. What if I place the katana? Does it look like it's stabbed into the mountain if I do this? It could. Could you overlay them? It might be more headache than what it's worth. That is definitely possibly the case. I mean, it's not far off. If I do it like this, you're really gonna have to zoom in to notice. Oh, could kind of work. It works for this one because it's sword. That's for sure. Because if I try to put it on the hammer, well, I mean, as long as no one pays attention, this could kind of be a design of the hilt. The only other idea I have is I could put a light asset to it, which is to do what we did with these. I could potentially put elements. So, like, what if instead I take this out? And, like, what if for the katana I just put lightning around it? Right, we'll color it like sort of more blue. Do you guys like the idea of different colors or different elements? Is there an eraser tool which you can use to remove the extra bits of the sword? I wish there was, but it counts as a model. Like a whole model. It's like either all or nothing with these ones, sadly. I mean, there are like the flames. I think I could probably like individually grab these. And maybe like if I wanted to put the work. I'm gonna grab that, paste it, and then kind of give it its effect. That is another option. Which actually doesn't seem like it's too bad. Yeah, it's actually kind of easy. So like, theoretically, if I took that off. Yeah, actually, I like the different colors, easier to see. Yeah, but I think once we... So, with what you're saying, Mithril and Fern, we could do different colors and different weapons. With this tool, we can actually change the color scheme. So we could take away the lightning. The katana. Oh, whoops. Oh my god. Grab the lightning. There it is. Okay. Lightning can go. If I theoretically grab this flame, and then I now want to transform it to, like... Oh, it's a cool color for a katana. Like purple. I know I have purple for the axe. I can change that. Right, I could place it behind. Make it a little bigger. And then I could make one above. Make it small. Okay. I'm old. Visibility is important nowadays. Yeah. I can understand. Trying to make it easy for the eyes. Do you think 5e did a good job with magic weapons, or could it have been done better? It's fine for the most part, except for the issue that a lot of classes are now designed to just immediately use their class to get magic weapons in general. So like Hexblade Warlocks can make their weapon magical. Monks can make their fist magical. I forgot what else can do it. I think Blade Singers make their weapon magical. So for normal classes like fighters, they become very, very dependent to get a magical weapon early on. But I mean, it's just like, it feels like the game does expect you to already have it. And so for that reason, like, it's not played into too much, but if you don't have it, then it really sucks. I think, like, magical weapons, in a sense, because, like, if you think about it from a narrative standpoint, it's supposed to be a big deal. Like, the idea of having, like, Excalibur or some kind of magical weapon that is enchanted and super powerful. It's just from a gameplay standpoint, if you don't have it early on, it sucks. So everyone starts having magical weapons. So it starts to feel like it's less important. Now, I know the solution is like, hey, you're the DM, why don't you take the weapon away? It again just goes back to the fact that some classes can make their weapons magical. So if you don't give it to the fighters and the paladins and the barbarians, it feels really shitty for them. How old are you, Knight? Don't mean to be weird, it just kind of relates to the conversation. Was back when I sent this message. I am 25. Turning 26 this year. I remember when paladins getting their mounts and their Vorpal Sword needed 2 big quests at level 8. Yeah, it felt a little more of a rite of passage for them. And that's kind of like, if you go play like some games like classic World of Warcraft right now, you can see they have class quests, and that whole game was inspired off of D&D too. As far as like the mechanics of like, hey, you hit level 10, go do your quest to get like an ability. Or go to your quest to get a mount or a weapon. So, I mean, 5e is more streamlined for the sake of they wanted it to be more of like a party-friendly new player introduction to the game. Which I do think is a good thing overall. because it helps a lot of people get into D&D, and then if they like that simplicity, they can stay with it. But if they want to make it sort of have more flavor and uniqueness, then they could. But if a DM stays playing 5e the whole time and doesn't look at what the other ones do, they kind of limit themselves on like ideas. Okay, let's select our different weapons, and we obviously have a lot. So, we did... Okay, let's bring up all the weapons we could see, and then see which ones we like. So so far we have an axe and 2 swords. One is a katana, one is a longsword. Let's see all the unique weapons. There's a scythe. There is a hand axe, which is kind of this axe, so we're going to take that out. A flail. 3 flails. That's kind of huge. These are kind of more scepters. We could put a staff for like a mage. Potentially. A shield could be kind of cool. Name for the fire warhammer. Ooh, that sounds so cool. I'm trying to pronounce that though. Holenfjör? I think it's Holenfjör. I could be wrong. And I embarrassed myself in front of everyone. I see a lot of different swords here, like scimitars and dagger stuff. I'm not so sure I want to do those. I'm definitely not going to put a gun. Good. It's kind of fine the way it is. So of these weapons, is this a better warhammer? The art style doesn't look too good. Close enough to German. Holenfjör. I'm now invested in trying to get this right. We could put a bow. I don't know if we said bow yet. Unless there's a different bow asset. Let's look for it. No, there's crossbows. Oh, wait, here we go. We have some other stuff. Morningstar, whip, longbow, lance, great hammer, great sword. Okay, well, let's summon the bow here. See if this looks good. I don't know if it looks better. This one looks a little more exotic. Okay, I kind of want to put the lance, because the lance could look really sick. Like, plunged into somewhere. But again, it's the 2D style. Or not 2D, but kind of like the top-down that ruins it a bit. I would have to put it on a mountain. Here I am thinking about the logical implications of having giant weaponry littered across the entire world. Would they overshadow plant life? Would they affect the movement of animal herds? Exactly. The possibilities are endless. And that's when we get to the lore building can be super cool, because we could talk about it's either an ancient war between these gods, between mortal races, or even what if these weapons just were always here and people have no idea why, except the fact that if you take a pilgrimage to it and attune, you get some kind of power. Okay. Let's remove these swords for sure. I definitely want to keep the scythe. I want to keep the bow for a range user. I think I'm going to get rid of the staff. Kind of keep it to weapons. And for people with magic, it's very easy to just give them anything anywhere. I do like the warhammer. The question is, do we feel like we want to keep the katana? Or do we want to just put this sword in there instead? I mean, this sword definitely looks better, but we already have like a long sword. Unless we put the katana there. That is the other option. Let's see. There are humans here. We would have melted them for scraps within 10 years. How would people in ancient history have treated them? Would the light from their effects create light pollution? Would they be able to see through the stars through their glow? And that could be kind of a cool effect that you bring up, because we could essentially have it that any civilizations that studied the stars have to be away from these swords. Or these weapons in general. So I think I'd like to keep, definitely like to keep the axe. Definitely want to keep, I guess I could keep the katana and build an eastern area over here. Oh, that would have been bad if we left. If we want to make an eastern styled area, we could temporarily get rid of these mountains and add these mountains. We're gonna change the color of it a bit. Let's decrease the size. We're gonna get rid of this entire forest, put it over here. Cherry blossoms could look really nice. We're all humans here, I think. That's a good point. If we have any lizard people or crab people, now's the time to tell us. Side of queso. Hey, MDC. MKC. Oh, Midnight Coffee. How's your night going? It's going fantastic. We got the stream working again after a couple days of it not working, so I feel happy to come back. Also, the magic of the blades affect the geology of their immediate area. The stone mineral deposits could be highly praised, either in a religious or crafting sense. That's a very, like, right on the money of what I was thinking. Especially because we talked about earlier that people would come over here to grab the nodes that are around. Oh, yeah. To grab the nodes that are around and use it to make weapons. Potentially, we would decide if these weapons are unbreakable. If they're not unbreakable, then people could be harvesting the weapon itself, slowly breaking chunks out of it to make their own weapons of that material. But I kind of like the idea, like, I feel like the weapons would have to be unbreakable for them to exist as long as they do. Or else, logically, people would have just harvested it. Unless they're that massive, but... Okay, if we want to... By the way, do you guys want to keep the katana style? I could reflect an entire Eastern Kingdom around it. I think we'll go ahead and do it, actually. So, Oil Jacker, welcome. Hello, nice to see you here. All right, we're gonna start with some settlements of farms, kind of on the outskirts, and then as we move in, we are going to have the actual kingdoms. So let's create some settlements around these areas. We are going to have this essentially be a central town between these two farms. This will kind of be the main town you go to before you go to the main city. There would be an entrance from both sides, so we're going to move these around. Let's grab some of these and flip them. Okay. We're going to want some red ones. So let's delete some of these. Let's see. Spoon, welcome. Nice name. Those are the unharvested weapons. There are 1 or 2 harvested, but their powers faded from being harvested. Fern says, how deep do they go? Would some mad tyrant or gnomish inquisitor have dug up the ground around them just to see what happens when a blade falls? Or maybe that is something high-level players might do. Want to say each continent of this larger world at most has 4 weapons. So, yeah, to answer all of your guys' questions, we could definitely put some grayed out weapons, maybe that lost their power. That could be for an unknown reason or something that we want to write up. But yes, we are going to split the weapons up so they're not all in one area. So, for example, let me put our sample weapon models over here. Let me grab this. Oh, did not mean to do that. There we go. Okay. Where to put the fire axe? I mean, we could put it right here in Bloodbear Lake. It would fit it pretty well. To place it right on this mountaintop. Okay, it would look really good to obviously carve it into the mountain. Inception, welcome. Nice to see you here. Would there be any form of helmets or other armors? What about shields and tools? So I plan to put the shield here. We could definitely put a, like, I'm okay with putting a giant shield. Unless you mean that you can make helmets and armor out of it. I think for some of them, we have it that you can. Some of them are, the other ones are weapon-based. Okay, so real quick, if we were to sort out these weapons. Bow goes to kind of the naturey elven area for now. The scythe we can put in this dead, scary zone. That leaves the shield, the warhammer, and possibly the flail, if we wanted to decide where we want to put these. Before I get to kind of building this eastern city, we're gonna finish out the weapons. I just kind of want to place, kind of the more big theme about it. It's kind of put it in my mind. Eastern gates. And we can place all sorts of buildings around here. Oops. This is going to be the final bit I put on it, but... Oh, wow. That was a little unfortunate that these were all at 3 as well. There we go. For now, we're going to kind of keep it this way. We will come back and revisit this later. Revisit. Alright. But let's focus on the weapons. That's the main juice right now. Well, it's howling a gale and peeing it down outside, yet my dog still wants to walk. Oh, be safe, everyone, and I will join you all another time. Take care, Mithril. Go ahead and pet the dog. Let it know that it is loved. Hope to see you back here next time. What lore is in this world? I usually create stories based on the history of my world. So the lore part is widely going to come in later as far as the big picture. Right now we're kind of designing the map, designing certain stories of certain zones. But I think if we were to choose an overlying larger picture, it's probably going to have to deal with these weapons that we've decided we wanted to put in. I don't see flail as fitting any established place. Yeah, that's kind of my issue too. Unless we wanted to put like a hell region, it's not really going to fit anywhere. So we can get rid of that one. Have one less weapon. So I don't think we put a third sword. It's going to be a little redundant, as cool as this one looks. By the way, I asked a question about how deep the weapons go into the bedrock. I kind of feel like I gotta elaborate on that. What happens when a weapon is moved, and is it even possible? Oh, yes. So what we could do is say that I guess we can dig them in further. So I think if the weapon moves, because it's not breakable, we've established that part, that they're unbreakable, it would proceed to just destroy whatever it's landing on. And that could be a really cool quest chain, because what if one of the villains or antagonists wants to destroy this city by dropping the katana on it? And so they're looking to just kind of break apart this mountain and have the sword fall in, knowing it'll destroy it. As far as how deep do they go, I can't imagine they go that deep, because like this blade would be ridiculously long if it goes into bedrock. That the hilt and everything else would have to be very, very big as well. So, yeah. I guess to answer your question, Fern, it doesn't go that deep. But it can be drilled out and moved, absolutely. But do vote for the shield to be around Yule's Mountains. That could be a really nice one. Somewhere around here. We could kind of put it within the mountains itself. Almost like it's being held in. Let's go back for this fire. Can we change the color? What if the flail came from a Nordic-like culture? We kind of have a Nordic culture over here. I think we're gonna go with the shield. Question is, what color do we want the shield to be? There's not many colors to go with. could go for like a gold. I know this seems a little like fire though. That's the issue. Medic, welcome. Nice to see you here, buddy. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Could the weapons be magically moved or the size reduce? That could be a good piggyback off of Fern's idea. So maybe what we do is piggyback off Fern's idea of could they be mined out? Perhaps what people have realized what they can do is if they can magically shrink the weapon, then they could pull out. And perhaps some of these weapons, like we can kind of take some of these out. Some of these weapons are shrunken down and actually used by characters in the world. So whether they're like great heroes or great villains, some of them manage to grab these weapons, shrink them down to hand size, and use them as like their personal weapons. And a large part of that could be who is able to shrink these weapons, right? Perhaps it's some ritual they have to go find, or a spell, or perhaps it's a very specific wizard or a mage or an order that does it. Or maybe it just takes a lot of time. That could actually be a really cool idea. I suppose the thing is that it doesn't make much sense. Flails are shitty weapons anyways, and flails are made for horseback to deliver force without dismounting the rider. Yeah, I don't think Nordics used flails too much, if at all. I know it's very much a night thing, kind of England. Could you do a helmet too that's the same design as the shield? Let's see. I know there's definitely a helmet you could place. So like place a helmet, like a large helmet somewhere. I don't know if that's what you mean. We definitely could place one. We could very well say it's from the knight who dropped the shield. Kind of give us an idea of how big their heads are too. So we can kind of rest it right here. I am back. What's going on? We are discussing the weapons and placing them out. Imagine someone uses magic to smash a city with an indestructible titan object the size of a mountain. Exactly. And I think that's the question that can kind of go on here. Is whoever the antagonist is of this area, their plan is to drop this weapon on the city and destroy it. Inception, he's thinking about shrinking these weapons. Yeah. So I'm thinking that we don't have to put every single type of weapon out on the map, because we can have it that over time some people manage to shrink the weapons down to the size of their person and they use it as their weapon. And so that could be something that like the players can eventually get their hands on, is like this artifact level weapon. And that could actually kind of be a cool choice, because imagine you have to choose either you attune to the weapon or its magic and you get benefits, or you shrink it down and take the weapon for yourself, but it removes that power from everyone else who attuned to it. So it could be kind of be like a darker path. A lot has changed on the map. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of work. It's a lot of fun. So that could open up, because the whole point of D&D 2 is to put the players in kind of a sort of a quest chain, a quest decision that fundamentally decides their morality, who they are. So what if even later on these players get a shrunken down weapon and they can either keep it and make themselves really strong, or take it to a ritual and have it go big again, resize it back to its original size, and give everyone back their power. The only drawback to that, by the way, I realized I had the music turned off. The only drawback to that is it makes it that like no heroes would really have these weapons. It would just be straight up villains. And I kind of like the idea of some heroes having it. As for Yule's shield, imagine outrating an avalanche on the building size defensive object. That's funny. What if weapons are sentient? I've done that a fair bit. That is really, really cool. I love sentient weapons. They're super nice. There should be like a wise, very old elf that has one weapon who will die after guiding the party to go after these weapons. Ooh. Oh, that has shrunken one of the weapons. That could be a cool idea. A cool NPC to get them together on their quest. If the ability to warp matter resides within these weapons. Maybe. Certainly possible. So for Yule's shield, I was hoping to choose kind of like a holy color, kind of like gold, which I guess could be this. Maybe I can make this like a darker fire. Is that possible? Let's see. Oh, wait, that's... I would just have to play with the brightness on the other one. Okay, hold up. Oh, but it does change when I put it on this a bit. Is this fire nicer? No. I have an idea. If I grab this, I increase the brightness, it becomes gold. Grab this and then put it one layer lower. What if we have the eyes essentially glow on the skull? Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. Gold for that one. Or if Spoon's idea, instead of the elf having shrunken the weapon, what if the elf lives on it? Ooh. I mean, so one thing we could do is... Give me 1 second, I'm about to drink. Okay, so for some of these weapons, it can go without saying that some civilizations are going to be built around it. So kind of like this one. What if people have kind of taken sort of, in a sense, the different races and major kingdoms all divided themselves to be protectors of each of these weapons. However, some of them are in quite dangerous areas that just cannot be protected because you can't tame what's there. So that'd be like the wilderness over here, how cursed this land is, that it's way too dangerous to upkeep it. But for example, like this village, their culture, their entire sort of purpose revolves around keeping this weapon safe. Same thing with the elves over here, or whatever fey creatures. And then we could eventually place one over here too. Do we even have one left? We had the Warhammer, but... There's one idea. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings. The rings divided amongst the different races. There's not really another weapon to put in. I also don't want to put too many. Less is more. Each weapon should have a different damage type per what region it is in. So do you mean like the elements, or like if it's like slashing, piercing? Because I thought about slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning. That will determine on the type of weapon it is, and then the actual power itself that you get by attuning to it will be based on its element. So that being said, like attuning to it will give you the elemental damage. Shrinking it, that's when you worry about the actual damage of the weapon. Elements, yeah. So yeah, that'll be reflective off the color, which is essentially reflected off the environment it's in. In a way. Rather, it's the other way around. The environment is a causation of the weapon. So as such, the frost sword dropped here, and that's what created all this. However, I'm kind of more, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of more down with the idea of a frost hammer. Right? Like a maul. Is there a maul here? No. That is one Warhammer. This one could work. And then making the sword something else. Let's just theoretically see what that'll be like. We could put the maul more. What if we do it not even tilted, just straight up? No, let's tilt it a bit. Actually, no. I think a maul would stand up straight. So we're gonna flip it like that. We're gonna grab these flames. We're gonna color them blue. Let's put the effect under it. Okay, I think I kind of like the idea of the frozen maul. Maybe we make this smaller. All right, hold up. Let me read up on these chats. Yeah, like over time it has soaked up the magic around it or the elements around it. Trying to figure out what's going on with these. What's the idea behind them? Maybe a war between giants or between gods. Yes. So yeah, medic, we are placing these giant gargantuan weapons around the world, and it's going to be a large part of our overall story of what's going on. Zeus, your sons have returned. I bring the destruction of Olympus. Like, imagine finding a dead god. And that's actually a pretty cool point, because we definitely can place skeletons around. Now, I'm not so sure. I've placed a hand over here. That could definitely be the hand of one of these guys. There's obviously, I don't want to place like, well, actually having a giant skeleton kind of on a mountain could be kind of cool, right? Like, the skeleton kind of looks like it's laying on the mountain dead. Lots of nice fertilizer. We could even put dead dragons. I could theoretically place them in the water. I would lower their opacity. more. And then lower their Z axis too. That could be kind of cool. Is that the skeletons to scale with the weapons? I don't think so. I think we have it be that there is... Like, what if it is, it's essentially like gods and giants together. And these are essentially the giants that were killed. Or we could say yes, they are to scale actually. And we find them littered around the world in different areas. So we can like connect them with mountains in different areas. I don't quite like that one. Yeah, stuff like that. What do you guys think? What gods are we going with? What about the drag? I'm not sure what gods. I don't necessarily think about doing the Forgotten Realms because I don't want people to think that all those gods are in place. I definitely think we make our own gods for this world. Is Tiamat in this world? That is a question. It could be. Tiamat is a very iconic dragon. Even if we don't want Tiamat like Tiamat herself, we could definitely put a Tiamat-like dragon in there. But I mean, at that point, just add Tiamat. So, I mean, I'm very much open to the idea if you guys want it. Guys, the skeleton was a halfling god. Yeah, why not? Nothing. Welcome. Nothing. Nice to see you here. We're gonna have Jesus and Muhammad duke it out in the canon. No, I don't touch real life religions in D&D because that could definitely be a red line for a lot of people. Can you make them resurrectable? That could be cool. Ooh, maybe. It could be a cool quest line. It would only have to be like one, if that. Are dragons at all? There will be dragons, absolutely. Dungeons and Dragons. You can't play the game without dragons. They're different. Okay, so nope. Actually, place the dancing skeleton. So I know there is a skull. Yep, here it is. Okay, I could use this. There is also this one, which is kind of cool. We don't really have a fire effect. Ooh, okay, I have an idea. We got rid of the Warhammer. We're gonna place the sword. Okay. Check this out. All right. Ah, this could be our flame. Place some behind. Place one more like right up, right here. I should kind of keep it like that. What do you guys think about this? We're gonna change this color scheme a bit to. Well, I actually could just change the color and make this any color we want. Let's see. Draco Lich in the sea below all those ships. You are absolutely terrifying. You should make the DM the god of the world. That is my red line. I never have the DM actually ever be in the campaign. Not to bash anyone who does. It's just for me personally, I like to ensure that the DM's will and the game is separate, so that my players don't ever think that I'm just inserting my will into it. I absolutely, everything is a consequence of the players, not me. So that being said, I don't have the DM in there. The most I've done was reference, in a way, by they were speaking with some deities, and they kind of have said something like, you know, there's someone above us, like the one that created the universe. That's as far as it'll ever go. So yeah. But not to bash anyone who does it. Some people can pull it off. What type of dragon is that? The one in the ocean? We haven't quite decided. It's a dead one for sure. I'll let you know that. It could be an undead dragon that is actually still alive but sleeping. That could be kind of cool. What if you could? Oh wait. It's in the name Dungeons and Dragons. Though Wolf said it should be Dungeons and Dialogue. That's very true. You're definitely more likely to encounter dialogue than you are dragons. What if you could temporarily bring back souls back to ask them some questions or whatnot? There is a spell called Speak with Dead that lets you do that. It's actually very, very cool. If you watch the movie, the D&D movie with like Chris Pine, they actually have a very funny encounter with that. There will be dragons. You already know what people are going to try. Absolutely. Absolutely. Gotta expect it. Let's play Dungeons and Scheduling Problems. That's the real villain of the game, is scheduling. Oh, if you guys haven't managed to get a consistent D&D campaign, if you happen to be doing one or you're getting one, enjoy it. From the bottom of my heart, I cannot stress enough. Make sure you do not underappreciate the moment. It is a very, very beautiful thing. Yeah, can't imagine the game with Dungeons and Dragons does not have dragons in it. It has to. It's false advertisement if you don't. What if the sword is divine seal preventing a horde of demons from entering our world? I really, really like that. That could be for one of them. We could have it be this one, kind of with its skull. This could just kind of be the archdemon. And so whoever planted the sword killed them and kind of essentially pinned their body as the seal. So if they ever take the sword out, the skull moves, and then the seal opens up, and now the hordes of hell have come out. I like that a lot. So if that's the case, let's put a crater over here. This could just be from the sheer impact. let's put the skull more like right here. We're gonna make it a little smaller. Place it like that, and then could kind of do something like that for now. There might be a better. Oh yeah, that's actually a better crater. I'm trolling. The flame kind of affects this a little bit. Okay, maybe there's another skull we can use. Give me 1 second. Let me catch up on some messages. Also, have any of the weapons ever landed in a way that doesn't involve them getting stuck into the ground? I think that's what I'm gonna do with the bow. So the idea I have with the bow is that... Do any of these skulls work? Oh, I could just make it a straight up demon skull. I mean, I know that's what this was, but... I could also just make it a very big skull. Let's put it right here. So what if like half the... I guess that'd be very... Okay, part of the thing I regret is putting it on this side of the coast. Let's move it down here. That way we have some room. Does this look nice? I mean, one thing I could do is I could go back for that hand. No, let's do one hand. And then if I am to preface the cliff edge, I think this can kind of be pretty cool. All right, let's catch up. Sorry about this. I got a bit lost. And so have the weapon affect how the weapons affect the erosion of the land around them. So yes, I have an idea for this. Give me 1 second. I'll show you what I cooked up. I agree with the DM thing, but having the DM as a patron for a warlock would be fire. That could sound fun. Just for shits and giggles, make a weapon just to be a stick, the stick of truths. No one knows what it does and no one has ever used it. Have you ever watched Doraleous and Associates? This is a very old show on YouTube, but it was so well done. Session, you can use the True Resurrection or Speak with it. Yes, those are... True Resurrection is like a 9th level spell. It's insane. I mean, what type of dragon species is that one? I think... Do you mean like between colors? Like a red dragon, blue dragon, green dragon? If so, I kind of like the idea. I always loved the classic red dragon. But I'm kind of down to do this Draco Lich idea of it being like an undead dragon. What it was before, we could kind of decide on anything. Most importantly, now it's like a skeleton dragon. Oh wait, Dukes and Dialogue as alone won't go much dungeons, and usually it's a castle instead. have a magical tank in the game because funny. That's always an artificer's dream. They will find the quickest way to make a tank. How long has the sword been there and I haven't? We found out the weapons can be moved because someone is bound to touch that thing. Yes, the weapons can be moved. They can't be destroyed. But they are so massive, it takes a great amount of force to do so. A great amount of power. So, either through magical means or slavery, they'll find some way, perhaps. Oh, great Tink of Lake, what is your wisdom? Bad to the bone. Tank that fell into a blood bear lake would be pretty cool. The players can use a magical tank. Yay, how creative, an extra large head. Yep. Feels very Doom. I love Doom. One of my favorite games ever. What if the scythe affected healing as if slowing it down or having it? That could be kind of nice. Kind of with its, like, compatibility with death. An Ender Dragon? Did I just hear you right? Essentially, Draco Lich was what someone suggested. Kind of an undead dragon is what I was saying for sure. Mine is a blimp. I like making blimps. Well, I have some good news for you because there are indeed airships that I plan to add to the city over here that they could use for travel. So I'll put one there for you right now. So to go back to your idea, Fern, the bow. I plan on the bow not being something that was pinned to the ground. Instead, I kind of want to have it on the roof of this tree, and it's what's giving this entire coloration to this forest and kind of its magical energy. So the people up here are going to defend it to their dying breath. And I can make this one with purple flames. Look at that. The first tree that is always on fire. So yeah, we will do that with it. All right. Oh wait, I had this purple. We're gonna have to change this. What's a nice the saturation, up the brightness? We might be able to get a unique color here. We could make it like kind of green. Blue we have here. We have fire. We have 2 fire, I realize as well. We made some duplicates. Guys, I messed up. We will solve it though, don't worry. Let's see. Make a legendary blacksmith who's able to make smaller versions of those weapons. If you manage to find him and ask him to do so, it gives a cool side quest. I think what we do is that these weapons have affected the minerals around it. So if you collect that metal, you can kind of make a... I don't want to say weaker in the context of like, oh, hey, it's a weak weapon, but it is a... So like if these are artifact weapons, you made legendary weapons. So kind of 1 tier below it, but still very powerful. Talking about the one in the skull, if that has been there forever, would someone try and move it? It's right next to the city. Yeah, they definitely would. So with the 2 solutions we have is, one, we can have say that this is very, very, very deep, so that most people die trying to go there, kind of Grand Canyon deep. The other option is that we can have it that this kingdom knows that this weapon is to stop. It's sort of acting like a gate seal for the forces of hell, so they will protect it to their dying breath as well. In which case, we're going to place a lot of fortresses around here and kind of in there, and that is this kingdom's main duty. That is option 2. But yes, you are right. With it being close to a city, someone's definitely going to choose this one first. That's a bow. Looks more like a stick. Oh, whoops. Oh, my bad. Yeah. Kind of does, but you can see the bowstring. Maybe if I increase the contrast, lower the brightness a little bit. There's not really a good bow asset. Yeah, they're all kind of this. The other one is just kind of a little too basic to look like a legendary weapon, so I kind of just avoided it. Yeah. Let's see. What about the dragons being an undead celestial dragon? Ooh, like it was gold before. Oh, wait, I didn't see the string. Yeah, no worries. There should be dragons defending each weapon. That could be really cool if we want to create some pretty good dragons. Someone put the bow in the same wash as the forest and its color blend all the way through the trees. They didn't mix their whites and their colors. Those fools. Not necessarily dragons, but just something that fits the weapon. A hammer is a bunch of dwarves, a bow is elves. Yeah, so I guess the bigger question is for us to decide is, do we want dragons to be monstrous beasts, or do we want them to be like ancient elder protectors of something? It's kind of the fun part about dragons. You can always kind of play them differently. But at the very least, we can definitely have it that if we wanted to do both, we could have it that each dragon, like a dragon is tasked with each weapon, and on top of that, they consult each of these kingdoms, because dragons can also take human form with their polymorph. So this could definitely be a world where dragons, at least in this continent, which could also be a cool thing, guys. Keep in mind, this is one continent. So we could have these dragons in here take human form and sometimes act as court mages or advisors. But when we go to other continents in the world, those dragons are more bestial and monsters. And so that could be kind of a cool dynamic. Or a custom dragon, just one humanoid for each, which would lead to the humanoids in the area when they guard the weapons. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, I agree. Like kind of the nearby races kind of have an obligation to do it. Yep, the having the dragon's horde at each weapon sounds fire to me. That could kind of be a cool idea. Yeah. How about you call the place the Sword in the Skull or the Devil's Palm? Ooh, I like monster dragons. Smart dragons, smart dragons. Monster dragons are just goofy Godzillas. What if you put some weapon in the dragon and taking it out brings the dragon to life as a lich? Oh, it's kind of like a trap. I don't really like dragons who talk and don't kill you. It doesn't really match dragons. Dragons should be smart, cunning creatures who kill things. We don't need yet more Tarrasques. Tarrasques are absolutely terrifying. So the thing is again, this is one continent of the world, right? So the world increases out here and out there and all this. So I kind of like this dynamic of making this world that in one area, dragons are very, I don't want to necessarily say civilized, but they're more interactive with people. And then in another world, dragons are absolute kind of almost feral, like. And that could kind of be a cool dynamic that perhaps when all these continents are connecting together, there could also kind of be like a draconic war. So for this one, we could definitely put dragons that are more... that are more interacting with the kingdoms around it. We can have it that the dragons are one of the few beings that actually know the true history of what happened here. And they were tasked with defending each of these weapons. And then in the next continent over, we have dragons that absolutely demolish any village they can and take all the gold. Oh, whoops. I wanted to change this to green. Okay, hold on. Not the sword. Oh my god, I can't get rid of the flame. Okay, let me place the sword, and then let me just lock the sword. There we go. Let's get rid of this, grab this, and then now we can place the other. Alright, real quick. Just get this one over with. Okay. Let's move this mountain. Alright. We need to go back to how we will. Inception that is smart. Yeah, I really like that idea, kind of making one of them maybe a trap. Maybe one or two, but nothing more, as most dragons and tails are supposed to be monsters after all the world's used after all the world used for dinosaurs before 1841, they used to be called dragons. China. Or what if one place a dragon's hordes people with similar qualities like ambitious beings? I love dragons with murderous intent. You mean like the ones in the video Pointy Hat made? Hey. So, I mean, what if we do both? So, what if we have it that these dragons were tasked with defending these weapons, but a majority of these dragons turned and just kind of said, hey, you know what, screw it. We're just going to control and get all the riches because we can. So let's say like out of the 10 dragons that were tasked with protecting it, 7 to 8 of them are bad and 2 or 3 of them are good, quote unquote. And so they're trying to get people to help defeat the other dragons because, hey, they are no longer doing what they're supposed to. But those dragons are kind of like, hey, you know, those guys are following laws that are so outdated, older than us. It's a new world. We have the power to rule it. And so then the players can kind of decide, hey, which side of the dragons do you like? We could definitely do both. And that can explain that some dragons may have offered the weapon as kind of like a payment or a tribute to other allies that they would have made and forged. So like the reason why some of the weapons could have shrunk down is perhaps some of the dragons made a deal with some patrons. And so those patrons got a hold of those weapons and gave it to whoever they wanted to give it to or keep it themselves. And those dragons got some extra power for it or got territorial control. I think that could add some complexity to the dragons. That way we keep the classic tale of most of the world still fears them because a majority of them are feral, territorial, and also very ambitious. And then you have 2 or 3 that are also trying to adhere to becoming more of nobility. I think that might be the best. We're going to do that. But that being said, I think we have all the weapons done. Oh, we don't have this one. Okay. I have an idea. I know, increase the opacity. This one, I want to make white. Kind of almost like soul magic in a way. Okay, so look at this. I don't want to do the same fire each time. Yep. Oh, I had the weapon selected here somewhere around. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's do 4. Oh, wait. Okay, new idea here for the weapon. Let me drag all this smoke away. Not the tree. Oh my god. Okay, is there gonna be a way to grab it? No. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. We're gonna have to, there we go. Okay, drag this, grab that. Oh, there we go. Okay. Uh, here's a cool idea. What if this town is under the scythe and it is essentially going over it in a way? Would that be kind of cool? It's like if you were hypothetically in this town, you look up and like you literally see the scythe above you. That could be kind of cool. All right. What if the guy, part of the long-lived race who led the dragons is still around? It is the guy who lives on the weapon. Part of the long-lived race who led the dragons is around. Which weapon do you think they should be on? If they are on one. I mean, they could be at the site here and be at the Oblivion Peaks. Let me know what you think. Imagine if you managed to shrink down the sword to be able to pick it up, you would have to scream, by the force of the devil's palm, I have the power. You gotta do it like Terry Crews in those Old Spice commercials. By the power of this big skull on the ground. That would work too. Uh, yeah, copyright. Yeah, that's how we immediately get hit with it. There's a big hand next to the skull. That is a good point. That could be kind of cool. I like the name more than this big skull. Do a tank? Also, here's a magic item idea. 5 magic shields made from a fiend's fingernails. Ooh. Yeah, you give me shivers. Alright, so if we grab this. Oh. The devil's palm. Let's see, how do we want to set this? Maybe add an upward curve. We are going to increase the line height. Actually, if I curve it the other way, I can kind of have it maybe hit with the mountain, kind of look like it's part of the terrain. There we go. Just a little more. Let's do that. No, I should have messed with the font before I did this. Kind of like this script. Yeah, let's go with that. There we go. The devil's palm. Is it blocking out the skull too much? Let's make the skull a little bigger. Actually, that was a mistake. Okay. Let's make... There we go. Could do it like that. All right. What if the leader of the place of the scythe is reskinned version of a vampire, but got his powers from attuning to the scythe, but did it with dark magic? I really like that idea, Inception. We could even add a dark castle too here. Let's grab this one because it's very Dracula-esque. We're gonna change the saturation to this and make it pretty dark. We can place it here essentially. And this can be where they are at. Unless you were saying something about them living in the weapon, we could very well have it that if you walk in here, you can go up inside of the scythe. And that's where they are. Yeah, I think that might actually be a cooler idea. That's the case then. Let's just get rid of this mansion. And then we'll do that instead. It sticks out way more than the skull. That's why the devil's palm. Oh, I keep making this mistake. Forgive me. There we go. The hand sticks out more than skull. Yeah, it does. We could even make it a bit bigger. Well, we don't want to make it bigger than the skull. That wouldn't make sense, but... let's see. You should have a giant flail that spins over a town, protecting it. We had the flail weapon. The only issue with it is the chains are pretty close together. That does sound kind of cool though, like an iron, almost like a dome. I mean, what if we take away What if we take away the sword and put the flail, and the chains are around the skull? What do you guys think about that? That could be kind of cool. The hand is the hand of Sudium, because it turns anything that it touches to the periodic table elements opposite of gold. Ooh. I love having a JoJo reference as a name for the place. People would definitely looted the giant fiend's body, turning his fingernails into shields, its bones into powder, and selling its flesh on the bark market. That was good grammar. It was. It was good enough. I got what you were trying to say. No worries, medic. Happy to have you here. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Protecting the skull? No, nothing. We established that this weapon is essentially holding the skull in place, which acts as a gate, like a seal, for a gate to hell. So if the weapon gets removed, the skull gets moved, and a bunch of demons come out, pretty much. So if we hypothetically, or theoretically rather, took away the sword, let's take away the text for now, just to make it so you can see what it would look like. Now let's put it over here. We wanted to grab this flail. Could have each of these ones be on fire. I think I kind of like this flail a little more than the sword. Yeah, I think we do flail. The sword is holding the skull in place, I thought. Yeah, I'm thinking we could also just have the chains hold it in place, right? Or do you guys think that doesn't quite make sense? You know how loud a fast spinning flail is? To be honest, I don't know if I want to live directly below it. Maybe protecting the skull is better than a city. Put the sword in the dragon. So let's, first of all, let's move these boats out a bit. I realize this lo-fi track occasionally plays like a girl laughing, and each time it gives me like a jump scare. The only issue is, I guess if I do it like that, it could work. We could do something like this. Sword seems better. Yeah, a couple of you guys are saying that, so we'll do the sword then. Once again, I keep making the mistake of clicking the map on OBS's stream instead of the website. All right, in that case, we're gonna revert. So we're gonna do a whole lot of Control-Z's. All right, there we go. All right, we'll keep the sword. Okay, I think for the most part, the weapons are done. The only thing I want to change is this from fire to something else, to not double down on elements. We do have purple. We have blue. The issue is I think we got like all the colors for the most part. I was hoping for one of these I can make it like just like red. Maybe this right here, just a little bit. Yeah, that works right there. Okay. Oh, didn't want to do that. There we go. And it kind of also plays into the color of the minerals around it. All right. We got that done. I do agree with nothing here. Yeah, I agree with him too. We'll go back with the sword. Yeah, thank you for answering Inception's question, Fern. It is incarnate. If you want to use all of their assets, it's $5 a month. Purple of the higher end, and then the lakes near the bottom of the weapon. The lakes near the bottom. I'm a little confused more on what. Oh, unless you mean this. I think I'm cool. This color is at least different enough from normal fire. We could say it's hellfire or something. All right. We have 636 changes. As you guys can see, if I just temporarily take myself out. So we're going to go ahead and save the map real quick before we lose track of absolutely everything. For the BB's Lake Blade weapon. Oh, Blood Bear or whatever. Yeah, I was thinking about like purple when I first looked at it, but I have purple over here. Is the only issue. So we'll keep it with this. I think this is kind of gonna be a cool like hell flame. It's also a bit more red, so it goes with Bloodbear's Lake's minerals. Have a secret buried giant tank in the ground and have its barrel look like a cave. Inside eroded look like a cave would be a cool adventure. Also, would it make more sense for the red flames to be at the Devil's Skull? You do bring up a good point. It would. But then it also makes sense to have red here for the mineral. Okay, I have an idea. What if we change this? Instead of fire, this is like radiant. So like a paladin or a cleric's weapon. Because classically, you could expect that like an angel would be the one to fight a demon. So we could have this be like a smite, essentially. We can keep this kind of with fire. I know we had this with smiting, or with like holy light, so we're gonna have to change this color. Which shouldn't be too hard. Oh, let's do brown for this one. Or kind of like almost like an earthstone defense type of thing. It feels impossible getting these lights. Or these flames. Let's see. What is it with you guys in a tank? The tank is cool. The rain water tank. I agree that a tank is cool, but leave it to whatever the artificer plays. If you guys want a tank, we can add a tank. Absolutely. I don't know how functional the tank will be, but we will. Let me take this out for now. There we go. Problem fixed. Let's grab this. Yeah, okay. I like this change we're doing. This is a little more brown, kind of earth-like. Over here we have the fire. And then over here we have the radiant. I'm curious. It's possible. No, they don't. Pipe. Check out steampunk. Not exactly anything that looks like it could be a tank's nozzle. Maybe this. But it looks more like a pipe. I mean, it is a pipe, but you know what I mean. The crane. If you hide it, it could work. Dragon tank. All right. All right. You guys want a tank? We can add one tank somewhere. Question is, where do we want it? We can kind of have it just right here near the center. Dragon. What'd you say? A dragon tank? Oh, well, what if this is something that destroys? Tank looks like Leonardo da Vinci's tank from Assassin's Creed 2. Yeah, it's like the circular one. Okay, what if it is just like an ancient weapon that is meant to shoot down dragons to an extent. However, it is broken down. So, if anyone's playing an artificer, they could try to rebuild it throughout the campaign. And if they do, and they bait a dragon to it, then they could absolutely decimate it. That could kind of be a cool idea. The only thing I wish is I can place a better asset for it. Maybe the tank could be fully buried and only high level characters with stuff like Earthquake can get to it. Yeah, that could actually be really cool. Well, it could be like Essentially, the tank, it's one of a kind. So it's regarded as like an ancient weapon. And, oh, by the way, our issue with the last skull was the fact that it was bleeding lava when we didn't want it to. What if we took out this one, placed this one? Let me change the saturation on this. Do you guys like that? Is this a better skull than the last one? Imagine the gold you would need, though, for the tank, I assume. Probably a good amount. Or just obliterate a town. By the way, can you make a homebrew golem race? I already did, actually. I could definitely showcase it. Make it shoot the katana onto the city. Nuke the town, maybe it only hits sleeping dragons. Nah, the other one I think was better. Oh yeah, we'll do the first skull then. And we'll get rid of this one. Okay. I wish I could place this on the like sideways. Just because it looks really weird as it is. But we said it's going to be buried, so we only need the nozzle up. Where do we could have it. Okay, let's see if we can place a cave around it or a mountain or something. Oh wow, I didn't even realize this one. This one looks super good for caves. In general, I'm gonna keep that there. Just actually looks super good. Um, no, that won't work either. Essentially, we could try to place another crater if we wanted to, like a much smaller one, but it's still a bit difficult. Let's see. Meteor Swarm is just an artillery barrage. Change my mind. It pretty much is. Make an ancient anvil and hammer deep underground. A massive cavern that was used to forge the ancient weapons. That is a good idea. Hide the tank barrel on the tree like it's Vietnamese. Yeah, we could just place it here until we have a better idea. I think that's the best one we have. You were saying, I think there is an anvil asset. There are, but damn it, they're top down, which is not going to work too well. Yeah, that's the only issue. But that could definitely be there. We will definitely have plans for it. So this is kind of a part where we can kind of look at the assets and see what they offer and then kind of get inspired by some that we see. Oh, the next thing we kind of want to add, well, maybe not. But we do need to add clouds at some point. There's some dragons that we will add eventually. Oh, there's some other kind of bones we can place in. All right. I like the idea of this ancient war that took place. What if, guys, what if there's a city built under the spine? Can we find a bigger skeleton? That's kind of the same. Okay, do you think it would be cooler if there is a civilization built under this one on the left or this one on the right? Probably the one on the right. You could fit the town like right there under its ribcage. Theoretically, if I was to... This could be kind of a cool idea. And if I was to put a cliff behind it... which one will look good? Kind of looking for like this angle maybe. Oh yeah, what do you guys think about that? Let's move chat like over here. Display capture. Ooh, would it be cool to have a waterfall over it? Oh my god, there's the laugh again. Oh, guys, I always, whenever this lo-fi track plays like an ad, I always mute it for you guys. And then I forget to unmute, so I will be better, but... What if the anvil's at C, but then it would be kind of obvious? The issue with the anvil is it's 2D. It's like sort of a top-down style. So what I mean by that is like if you look, all of these assets are as if you're looking at it from like directly above, which doesn't clash too well with everything kind of being a little more isometric, which is kind of like a bird's eye view. So it's a bit slanted. Because, like, for us, it obviously looks like an anvil because we know it's an anvil, but for... if you weren't thinking anvil, this would look really weird. What was I... oh, yeah, I was gonna see if... would a waterfall over this look cool? No. Maybe not. You guys know how in games, if you go behind a waterfall, you find like secret treasure? What if you find a entire village? So like at first it looks like the waterfall just goes over the thing, but then if you go under, boom, village. The only issue is that the players would not be able to see the village. Unless I change the opacity. No. Yeah, we'll put the waterfall going over a dead body somewhere else. Nope. There we go. Okay, I kind of like that idea. But we wanted to add more dead things around. This looks like a dead Godzilla. We could definitely put it out on the sea. I think for the most part. The only other thing I could think to add is this giant thing. Which I guess maybe we can add this one to see. No. We could add this one over here. Have it snake around. We'll just place it over here. I don't wanted it to curve around that cliff, but I would have to make it very big. Let's do it like that, and then let's actually decrease the opacity a little. There we go. That way, one thing that could be kind of cool is if you're walking in this forest, you think that they're trees and branches, but it's a skeleton. That could be pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay. Are we done with the weapons? Took a large part, but I think we're done with them. Yes, we are. I will admit I just left and had dinner without mentioning it. No worries. What did I miss? We just added some more skeletons kind of around the map. The one I'm pretty most excited for is this one that has a town under its ribcage. So that'll be kind of exciting. What if the soul of each dead creature is linked to a weapon? I don't want to make absolutely everything about the weapons. Because then the world, or at least this content, will be very one-tracked in its thing. But I like the idea that these creatures participated in whatever war was happening between the weapons and these titans that were killed, essentially. So we could definitely decide that they were on the side of the other skeletons that are dead. Free Calcium Town? Absolutely. You'll never have to worry about a source ever again. You have it for days. No, these don't work. Yeah, I kind of like that little detail. Lots of medicinal uses for that bone. The bone marrow is unstoppable. Everyone's gonna use it. Real quick, while we're here, we can add some sea creatures while we're thinking about it. Ooh, wait, we can add it here and kind of make it like a frost worm. Should we make them twins? Or, one thing we could do with these is it's like a snake with two heads on each end of the tail. Except these tails are obviously very out. So instead we could have two, like twin snakes. What if the mountain range was the spine of some animal? I was thinking about that for a Tarrasque. You are ahead of the game there. Very, very, very good job. Real quick, I'm just gonna add... This will be like the Leviathan. We didn't decide on a whirlpool, so I'm just gonna remove that one for now. Let's make the Leviathan like all black. It usually does have some blue in it. Let's do that. That'll look cool. Cool. This is a cool animal, but it's not to scale, is it? It's like the Kraken things you see on the stylized maps. Yes. It goes without saying that, like, if they're drawn bigger, it's because, you know, they're meant to be big. But yeah, they are not drawn to scale that, like... Well, I mean, this one kind of is. It will be this big compared to the boats, but I am only going to put one of these. And then one. This guy is absolutely humongous. But I kind of like the idea of having one Leviathan in there. That is just very, very strong. Now the next thing we could do, could add clouds in the game. Usually around mountains to, again, solidify that they are mountains. Oops. Real quick, let's see what that would look like if we... Whoops, that's huge. Yeah, not quite, actually. In this area, it kind of works. Kind of getting Kung Fu Panda vibes. But we could definitely put it, like, in this area. Okay, thank God. Imagine, though. Imagine the destroyed suspense of disbelief. It would be absolutely huge. Think about compacting this this town here a little more. The way to do that is to make everything just a bit smaller and then start merging them.
sound the gifting panic alarm.
Nope.
We need to find the perfect.
All right. In that case, I'll fix the town later. But we've made some amazing progress today. I don't know if there's any other bones we want to place or undead things. Monster. Oh, there's some big spiders. There are the dragons. We will add the dragons later when we figure out where they are. We could have tentacles in the water, but I don't want to put too many monsters because then it'll make it look like everything is too cluttered. As we say, sometimes less is more. Speaking of which, I don't expect you to do anything about it, as things like Lord of the Rings couldn't, but where is the miles of farmland? That is a very, very good question. So, it used to be a really nice asset for farms. Well, there's these top-down small field ones, but again, top-down is the only issue. We could kind of... Don't work. To answer the question simply, that's what essentially this this right here is they are meant to be sort of large plantations. So we at least have it for this area, and it makes sense where they get their food source from. But in general, okay, let's see if it's a town. They used to have these really, really nice assets that would have a farm with it. Well, there's these ones. I remember these ones. They're a bit old though, but we could, yeah, we could use these ones. Absolutely. We'll change the color a bit. Simply put, you can always label these as like, if you don't want to put towns in detail, you could just place this as like a way marker for villages. I think most of these assets were made for battle mats. Yeah. Yeah, like so you could see over here it tells you like what it's meant for, like a regional fantasy world. I can also come over here and turn off certain sections. The thing is they recently came out with a very, very big update for battle mats features, but not really for world building as much. So I hope on their next large update they add a lot more assets. But yeah, you are right. Scaling is also kind of an issue sometimes. But on that note, I think what we've done right now, very proud of. I'm going to go ahead and save it, and as it is getting towards 12:30, perhaps that is where we will end today's stream. And saved. All right. At the beginning of the stream, we went ahead and gave our race stereotypes. So we're being a little racist in the context of D&D. So hopefully with this and doing it with you guys, I will have a video up either tomorrow or after tomorrow. And that will be what your favorite race says about you. In parts. I'm going to do part 1 because if I went through all of these races, let me show you. In case you guys don't know, these are all the races in D&D. There is over like 60 of them. So I'm going to come out with them in segments, and then hopefully you will see yours. That being said, thank you for tuning into the stream, everyone. I hope you guys have a fantastic night. I hope you enjoyed it and come in for the next one. And with that, enjoy a nice cup of coffee. Take care.